多様性が叫ばれる今日において、男女がその垣根を越えて協力していくことが重要になってきています。これは子育てにおいても同様です。子育てにおける協力関係とはどのようなものなのでしょうか。私たちは日本の子育てについて他国との比較を通して考えるため、2国の文化的背景を持つアメリカ在住の日系人の方々を対象としてインタビューを行いました。
My name is Kenji Nakajima. I have two kids. One is 4, the other one is 2. The older one is fine with me, but the little one likes mother better. So that's how he tends to be. Like, I give bath and wash his hair, and then afterwards the little one, my wife does, and then my wife cooks and I clean up. That has been the case. I didn't have a good relationship with my father because my father is an alcoholic, and then he didn't work, and he didn't care anything. He didn't care about anything. So my mom raised all of us, and my mom worked and everything, so that I had no idea of how a father should be. I came here when I was 10, and my father was a TV cameraman, but then he stopped working because he's an alcoholic. And then my mom had to be the only source of income for us. So she worked as a tour guide during the day and worked at a waitress or cashier at a restaurant at night. And she raised all of us.
役割分担はほとんど私ですね。もう食べることから着ることから寝ることから、お父さんっていうのはあんまり参加してませんでした。もう私たちの時代は夫が参加するということは期待してなかったし、当てにもできなかったし、うちの中では縦のものも横にもしなかったし、あれこれでね、こっちが自動的に動いてた、そういう状況でしたね。
Easy. My husband did not do any of the spouse things. He didn't wash dishes, he didn't cook, he didn't shop, he didn't take care of the kids. Eventually, I divorced from my husband, and the girls were raised by me. They have always been raised by me, but we can talk about that later. I would have liked him to have been more interested in his family. I won't say that he's typical Japanese because I don't think that's true. So it's just unfortunate that he was not more involved with his family.
My dad, and he maybe wasn't raised to take care of the children, so he wasn't able to do it. I mean, I don't look at my dad and say, oh, he didn't do a good job or anything. He did what he could, you know, and so that's it. And I take good from what he did. You know, there's good things in me. So. Kenji's really good in that he really tries to do a lot what he can do. We both have different strengths and weaknesses, so we try to go off of that. And so I think pretty even, I would say. We try to be even. Try to be considerate for each other's also.
She would say stuff that she needs to get done. So there's a list of things. We make a list, and she'll be like, you do this, I do this, and then we try to allocate stuff. I think it's very unfortunate that I know there's a difference in pay between men and women, and if they have to, you know, if they have a kid, they have to stay home. I think it's very unfortunate that the culture is like that. Over here, it's getting more popular that the father is staying home while wife works. It's becoming more popular, but I think in Japan is not there. So in that sense, I think it's very unfortunate because because I'm pretty sure there are women that want to work, wanna have their career, and maybe there's husband that wanna better at staying home, you know. So I guess for me, I feel like who could do better work, you know. If I compare myself with me and my wife, if I can earn more money, whoever earns money should go and work. And whoever could do a better job with the kids or do housework should stay. You know, it doesn't matter the gender, I feel like. That's my answer.
I think child raising is a really full-time job. And I think as a mother, I think the best thing you can give your own child is to spend as much time with them, raising them and being able to manage them the best way you think. And it's unfortunate that you have to, you know, let other people raise them. But I mean, each circumstance has their own strengths and they're doing well. But I wish that I was there for my children more, that I could see them more often and see the developments. So, yeah.
My name is Meg Takeda. It's myself, my husband Kaido, and my older daughter is Kayla, she's 6, and my younger daughter is Umika, who is 22 months.
I work for a company that imports nuts and bolts and sell to distributors in the United States. I work from 8 a.m. and often work late, probably 6, 7, 8 p.m. and get home pretty late, around close to 9 p.m.
During the week it's just me. I do everything. And then, but on the weekend, he does a lot to just play with them. And then I do like the regular, like the cooking and the cleaning and all that kind of stuff. So that's how we kind of split the duties. I was doing merchandise marketing and I did that for a little bit. And then I was a bookkeeper. And then I quit after we had kids. So, I mean, I had the intention of going back to work, but it was just so expensive to get a nanny or childcare, so I ended up not going back to work.
She did quit her job, and it was something that we talked about and discussed, but when we came up with it, we thought it was for the best, and therefore we went ahead with it. Right now, she probably doesn't have the time with a younger daughter, but if she does decide to, I would support it.
Everybody around us, everybody, especially in Los Angeles, the mom works, the dad works, and they split everything down the middle. So dad comes home at 5, does the cooking and the cleaning, and they do everything. And so for me, it was really hard for me to be okay with doing everything and him just being the fun dad. But at the same time, I grew up I grew up here, but I grew up in a very Japanese household. So my dad was the working dad, and my mom started working later, but ultimately he didn't do any of the child stuff. So compared to my dad, my husband does a lot, you know. So I think compared to traditional Japanese roles, he does a lot. But compared to American standards, it's not a lot. So even if I tell my friends or people now, they're like, that's okay with you? Like, they're not okay with that.
It's tough to say. I know I work for a small company, so I do work a lot. It's a family-owned business, so that leads me to work long hours. It's sort of a compromise. Without working those hours, a lot of things at work wouldn't get done. But at the same time, you know, I feel that it's required in order to get stuff done, and therefore it sacrifices my time with the family during the weekday. If I am able to help out more, I would like to, but with my work schedule right now, it's pretty difficult.
But I feel like we've really gotten to a good place between us where we can talk about it, and if I get too overwhelmed, I'll tell him. And it took me a while to understand that, you know, he has a lot of stress at work too, and we really need to like talk to each other about it and kind of figure out, you know, what we can and can't take on. Especially like my sister-in-law, she's a registered nurse and she works very long hours, but she is like the best mom. She wants to be there for them, and she comes home from work and she gets in their bed together and she puts their arms and legs on top of her because she feels like she could sleep better that way because she wants them near her. And that just, you know, it's just such a touching thing for me to hear that, because for her to have to be away from them during the day, and I don't have to do that, you know, and it just makes me realize that I'm so lucky that I get to be with them all the time. You know, I'm the one that's saying, take them, I'm so tired, take them, you know. I just like want to throw them on to my husband when he gets home. But that's a luxury that I think it took me a long time to realize that I had that luxury.
My name is Torazo Saito.
My name is Cassady Davidson, and his name is Ringaro Davidson. Yeah, only at the very beginning when he had to be breastfed, that was my exclusive role of breastfeeding, but everything else, it's about 50-50.
We talk about what we're gonna do for next month or next year, so and we schedule it and we compensate it sometimes because she have to work or I have to study, so we talk a lot about what we're gonna do or what we have to do. Mm-hmm. My grandpa for example, cook dinner for my grandma, and he also participates raising kids, but my father did not do much that kind of stuff, so my mother always complained about it, and why don't you do that, seems like my father or something like that. So I know, and finally my parents divorced, so I ran the lesson from there, so I have to do that, otherwise maybe wife or my spouse gonna get angry or escape from me, so I try to do take care of kids or do my housework as much as I can. I cook twice in a week, and she cook twice in a week, and my Cassady's mom cook 3 times in a week. And while I'm cooking, someone always taking care of him. So, or I had a lot of homework to do. Someone take care of him. So it's a very flexible, but it's very good for me.
We thought, if you're gonna have a baby, somebody has to be with the baby 24 hours at home, or you can't have a baby. That's what we used to think. But we saw our friend Stephanie's family, and we saw that both parents worked, mother and father worked full-time jobs, and they put their children in daycare, and they just took care of the children when work finished and on weekends. And
they have 2 kids.
They have 2 children, and it's chaos, but they were a family. So we saw them and we said, maybe it's not that, maybe you don't have to be perfect. Maybe it's okay to use daycare. It's okay to use a nanny. It's okay if both parents are working. Yeah, I think it's very, very shameful that women have to quit their job after having a child. Like, why, right? Like, it makes no sense. It's actually, you say Japanese society, but it's actually prevalent in America too. A lot of women in the US quit their job after having a child. So it's not a Japanese problem. It's I think everywhere in the world, a lot of women quit their job when they have a child. And the reason I think it's bad is because I think it's, number one, a waste of resource, because women are educated just like men. So I think women have a lot to offer, and by not contributing, that's a loss to society, because women have good ideas, good experience, and by cutting off the women brain in companies or society, like, you just have less brain power. So that's why it's bad, number one. And it's bad, number two, because for the woman, think about divorce. think about death. Think about all the bad things that can happen in life. Like anything, war, whatever. If a woman quits working or can't work just because they have a child, what if the woman becomes single? What if the woman doesn't even have a partner to begin with and just is a single mother? Like, it makes no sense that a woman be denied an opportunity, because for the woman's own future, I think it's important to continue working, because a career is not something that you just, it's not a switch that you just turn on and off. A career is your life. And so I think it's important for women to try to continue working or doing something, even if they have a child, because it's good for their own future. So I think it's two bad reasons. Number one, it's bad for society, and it's number two, bad for women.
Yeah, my mother,
So that's how I feel. I feel very strongly about that. Yeah. We just have to compromise. There's no perfect family. There's no perfect child. There's no perfect parent. So I think we can always aim for 100%, but I think it's important to understand that sometimes things won't go the way that we planned or hoped or expected, and we just have to adjust it. As long as everybody is, smiling and
alright.
Alive is a very low standard, but as long as everybody is functioning, it's okay, is what I thought.
今まで3家族の子育てにおける役割分担のあり方を見てきました。そこにはそれぞれの状況に合った最良の方法を見出そうとする家族の姿がありました。イクメンという言葉にも見られるように、子育てに参加する男性も増えてきていると言われる日本。しかし本当にそうなのでしょうか。なぜイクメンという言葉がないのでしょうか。そこには普通女性がする子育てを男性が手伝うのは立派であるという暗黙の了解があるのかもしれません。そういった常識にとらわれ、無批判に性役割を受け入れてはいないでしょうか。私たちはこのことについてもう一度考え直してみるべきかもしれません。